It's a perfect circle on the edge. It's Josh and Chuck. Every Thursday, we have our pal, Mr. James Wirth, come up here. He is a lawyer, Chucky. He is much smarter than me or you.
And has a degree to prove it.
Yes. All right, so you can ask us anything you want on Twitter, at Edge Tulsa. James, last week, right as you were leaving, we had a guy call in who had a pretty interesting question, I thought.
Yeah, he had concerns that he's driving a company car and the tag is expired on it. He wanted to know if he got pulled over, whether that would be on him or on his employer. So essentially what the statute says in that, both municipal code and the state statute, is that it's the person that operates the vehicle on the street. So it's not illegal to have a vehicle that doesn't have a tag. It is illegal to operate a vehicle on a public street without a tag. So that's going to be on him.
He can't be driving it.
He can't be driving. It's going to be on him. Now, he may have a claim against his employer, but as far as the law is concerned, as far as the police and prosecutor are concerned, he's responsible for the ticket, but he may have a claim against his employer for compensation.
That does not seem fair to me.
No, not at all. But now here's the other thing. If his employer says, look, you go deliver, this is your job, or you're getting canned, then he'd have something there, wouldn't he?
Not necessarily. I mean, if his
but he could go to you and go, hey,
absolutely.
I'm getting fired for a reason that I have no control.
We can talk about the employment issues associated with that, yes.
All right.
Okay, James, this is one that's kind of near and dear to my heart. Somebody wrote in earlier asking for a friend.
Oh,
all right.
Jeez.
What? Will you just listen?
Go on.
It says, Josh is constantly ripping on our mayor. Is there anything he needs to be worried about with libel or slander?
I'd say for the most part, no. In this case, when we're talking about public officials, the standard is much higher.
Right.
You've got to show malice, actual malice, and there's Supreme Court cases that deal with this. Mm-hmm. So I'd say in the context of talking on the radio, public official, you're probably okay.
No, hold on. What if he says, I saw him take a bribe?
That's not what I said. I said that maybe he was at a restaurant and maybe there was an envelope that could have had cash in it and there were some shady-looking people giving him said envelope.
Yeah, you're getting pretty close to the line there.
Okay, all right.
Close to the line. That's how I live my life, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so this is one right here. Okay, a few weeks back, I was driving to Tulsa from Fayetteville. I had just gotten on the highway when I got pulled over. The cop said it was for speeding, but when I told him I hadn't even seen a speed limit sign since getting on the highway, he told me, quote, I should have known that the speed limit was 55. Yes, I was doing 60. Yes, I was accelerating. What do you do when there's no sign posted?
Yeah, essentially you are responsible for knowing what the speed limit is. Right when you get on, there may not be anything posted. It should be posted every so often. I don't know the exact specifics of that, but even if you haven't seen it yet, you are responsible for knowing that. Ignorance of the law is no excuse for the law. In this case, ignorance of the facts of the speed limit is not going to be excuse. So things that you could do, there are GPS devices that sometimes have the speed limit posted on them, so you could get it from that. Or you could go with just the common known things, which is highways typically are at least 55, but you can't assume that it's going to be 65 or 70.
That leads me to another question. With the GPSs and all that stuff, and I'll distracted driving is a problem now, too, and that's something you get pulled over and you get ticketed for now. There's kind of a gray area there with the GPS devices, right? You're looking at your phone or you're looking at the thing on your screen or whatever. Is there a gray area with that?
Obviously, you want to be careful and safe. Typically, you're not going to get pulled over just for looking at your GPS. If you're fumbling around with your phone, there's a specific statute for that for GPS. Not so much. So more under those circumstances, if you're able to drive properly, stay in the lanes, aren't reckless driving, you're probably going to be fine.
Right. You're going to ask James anything you want, any lawyer question, just write to us on Twitter or call us up, okay? We are the Morning Edge.
New Young the Giant on Z104.5 The Edge, Tulsa's rock alternative.
So we have James Wirth, attorney, in here. You can go to his website, makelaweasy.com. That is makelaweasy.com. He will help you out with all of your law questions. Or you could just call up here, 460-1045, or write to us on Twitter at Edge Tulsa, and we will ask James for you. This is a really interesting one. This says, this is for the lawyer. I've been working at the same job for over a year when they abruptly fired me. They never came out and said it, but I know deep down it's because I dye my hair and I have a nose ring. Nothing was ever said to me about not being able to do this when I first got the job. I feel like I was treated unfairly. What can I do about it?
Yeah, first thing, default rule in Oklahoma is this is an at-will state. So that means that employers can fire you at will for any reason or no reason at all, unless that runs afoul of a specific statute or protection. So here we're looking at, assuming that you're correct and you were fired for your hair and your nose ring, that is not a suspect class that has specific protection, so it does fall back to be an at-will state. The only exception there is if you had a contract for your employment. If you did have a contract that has a specific term for which you're supposed to work there and a specific amount you're supposed to get paid, then they would have to show a violation of that contract. So if it says, if it doesn't say in there you can't wear hair like that, then it'd be a breach of contract. You'd have some damages.
Okay, so Chuck, you did just hear James say you can be fired for anything.
Anything in this state.
If your employer decides that you need to get fired, you can get fired for anything.
Right, unless you have a contract.
Do you have a contract, Chuck?
Oh, I'm sure I do somewhere.
I don't think you do.
There is one other caveat here, though, and that is unemployment benefits. He may be entitled to unemployment benefits because the employer is going to have to prove misconduct on his behalf in order to deny those to him. So certainly give me a call. Let's talk about unemployment. But as far as a civil lawsuit for wrongful termination, probably not there.
Okay, this person writes in, I'm in a dispute with my neighbor over a tree. It's half in my yard, half in his yard, but I don't really care about that. That's not why I'm writing. Okay, awesome. This says, this does say, a week ago, though, he and I were arguing in the driveway, and his wife filmed it. She put it on Facebook without my permission. Is that legal?
Yes, I think the default rule here is that it's going to be. The person filming is at a lawful vantage point, meaning that person's not trespassing. They're on their own land. They have a right to be there. They have a right to view it. Therefore, they have a right to film it. The other part goes to reasonable expectation of privacy. So if you're yelling in your front yard right there with the public street in front of you, you do not have a reasonable expectation of privacy. If there's concerns about what's in the video being posted online, if that amounts to harassment, then, call me. We can talk about getting a protective order. You may be able to get an order to have it taken down, but thus far, there hasn't been a law broken.
What about somebody who calls up to a radio station? Can we, what? Why are you laughing?
No, I totally go on.
Can we record them and put them out over the air?
Well, that would depend. I mean, if the setup, it's understood they're calling the radio station, and they understand that could be played on the air, then yeah, they wouldn't have an expectation of privacy for that.
Okay.
So it depends on what the setup is and what their reasonable understanding is.
Let me say that if you call this station, there's a good chance that we're going to run you on the air. Okay? So there's your expectation.
There you go.
All right, so James Wirth, attorney, rockstar lawyer, is here, and you can find out everything about him or ask him questions, makelaweasy.com. More coming up. It's Morning Edge. You can ask him anything on our Twitter, @EdgeTulsa. That's a neighborhood on the Morning Edge. It's Josh and Chuck. We have got a friend of ours in here. His name is James Wirth. He is an attorney, and he is answering any of your law questions. We got this one on Twitter. She says, I've had a daughter that has been in drug court for almost 3 years. It's only a 6-month program, but due to a drug ticket, she was found with a pipe with residue. They said this program would suit her better. I guess we didn't know what we were getting into. The judge keeps throwing her in jail for just about any reason. Missing an appointment or a drug test. He doesn't seem to do this to anybody else, only her. He has screwed up her school by having her in jail for 2 weeks, then out for 2 weeks, then back in for a week, so on and so forth, to where now her school doesn't even want her anymore. Who can I talk to about getting this taken care of so I can move out of the area?
Yeah, this sounds like a complicated scenario, so definitely do talk to an attorney. Call me, call another attorney about it. Generally speaking, with drug court, if you're going to be getting into drug court, the court's going to have you found to be jail bound, meaning this is only supposed to be used as an alternative to jail. So this is somebody who otherwise should be incarcerated. That's how you qualify for drug court. So most of the time it's a good deal because you avoid jail.
Right.
But it is very onerous. Initially, you're going multiple times a week to court, and then it slows down from that. The program is meant to get you off drugs, so it's expected that people are going to screw up sometime during the program because they understand that happens with addicts, and that's what we're looking at here. So it's set up to have sanctions. So rather than saying, well, you violated your probation, we're going to throw you in jail for 5 years, it's set up to, well, you took drugs, you failed this drug test, we're going to sanction you, and you're going to go to jail for 2 weeks. That's the way the program works. The idea is to have a good side, a very high side, a carrot, that says if you successfully complete it, you're going to get this good plea deal.
Right.
But if you don't complete it, then you're going to get this horrible plea deal and go to jail for a long time.
Yeah.
So as long as they're holding that jail over your head, then it's supposed to be more effective to get you to stop and to complete the program. So that's the idea. It sounds like here it may not be working. She feels like she's getting unfair treatment compared to other people there. So it may be something to look into. Get an attorney to review it in totality. We'll see if there's something that can be done there. But at this stage, she's already pled in, so it is difficult to get out without getting the negative deal, the one that you signed up in the beginning that said, if I fail drug court, I'm getting this, and it's usually not good.
All right, so after that very heavy one, why don't we end with a happy one?
This is one, I feel like you may have wrote this.
I did not write this.
All right, you promise?
I promise.
All right. This person
I'm not
says,
going to lie in front of a lawyer. Like, of all the people that I would lie in front of,
because the Twitter message
this guy
doesn't have a picture on it. It just kind of looks like it's like made up Twitter. But anyways.
All right, just ask the question.
I don't have a specific question, but more of a general one. Do you think it works to threaten someone with, you will be hearing from my attorney? And I feel like that is something you would utter.
That actually, everybody said that. Haven't you ever said that?
No.
Oh, I've said that many times.
I figure you have.
James, does that work?
I don't think it does. Ultimately, like you said.
Come on, James. Get on my side here.
Lots and lots of people say it. It's not a credible threat. We hear from a lot of people that are retaining us that say that their significant other in family law cases has hired an attorney and they're going to be filing any day now, only to find out that it's all a bunch of BS. They're making it up.
Okay. What if I say, you will be hearing from my attorney, James Wirth? Huh?
Oh,
see, then
you're up in the game a little.
Yeah, then it sounds like I know somebody.
That gets a lot better. Yeah, that's a lot more specific, more likely to be credible. I mean, the best thing is, hire the attorney, have them send out the letter.
Oh, I have to hire you too?
Yes.
I don't just get to say I know you?
That's the best bet to show that it's real. Hire an attorney, send out a letter that shows the representation. Then your threat is credible and real, and the situation can be dealt with.
And, you're not playing your hand. I think when you say that, now all of a sudden the other side is going to be more prepared than you are because they're taking it seriously and boom, they're prepared.
And people understand that. And because of that, you're less likely to actually follow through with it if you say it.
Maybe I just need to threaten dumb people more, like who don't understand that.
Yeah, that
all right, so you can ask James anything. He will be back again next week, but you can always ask us all week long on our Twitter at Edge Tulsa, any law questions that you have, and you can find James at MakeLawEasy.com. Thanks for coming, James.
All right, thank you.